my pride. My lies memorized in my heart.
see her walking down the boulevard. She got the posture of a superstar. She looks so fly in those Gucci slides. Yeah, yeah, I wonder what she hides under her disguise. Yeah, 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 yeah. And all the girls around the world, they wanna be it. And all the dudes are trying to score like it's fever. She lives a double life, puts on a show. What's under the subtle smile, we'll never know. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her.
Let me paint a picture. I see they don't understand. Feeling like Picasso. She brushing against my hands. Seen you from around the way. You didn't give me the time of day. You be making moves that, yeah, who really care what Simon say? All the bad things, girl, I had to look past that. piece of a dime, I'm just trying to get my cash back. You be looking fine, so no wonder they can't match that. Louis V scarf, or I'm chilling with a dad hat. Whoa, slow it down like that. Just hold me down like that. Yeah.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. She's a Mona Lisa.
There's something about the way that you understand. We don't need a rush and we don't need to make no plan. You say, pace yourself, slow it down. And I don't want to waste my days with no one else. I love how it feels, killing time, you and I. Hours, minutes, days and nights, trading all of our deadlines for conversations over wine. Killing time, you and I. In this moment we're alive, infatuated with your eyes and the way they look at mine when we're killing time. There's something about the way you talk with your hand. The way that you say my name when nobody's there. No. You say it's alright, take your space if you need a break. And if I need to disconnect, that's okay. This ain't no race. Killing time, you and I. Hours, minutes, days and nights, trading all of our deadlines for conversations over wine. Killing time, you and I. In this moment we're alive, infatuated with your eyes and the way they look at mine when we're killing time. Killing time, you and I. Hours, minutes, days and nights, trading all of our deadlines for conversations over wine. Killing time, you and I. In this moment we're alive, infatuated with your eyes and the way they look at mine when we're killing time. Killing time.
She my pineapple, yeah. She's sour, she's so sweet. Yeah. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I need another double. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I guess she's
she's all I'm after. My little girl got a sour side, but you know I'm a sucker for some sweetness. Every weekend pulls you in, she knows your weakness. I tell her she's my princess, she just wants to be queen. I call her pineapple and she says, what do you mean? She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I need another double. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I guess she's all I'm after. Yeah, take a slice and look inside. You see the sweet, the nice, the harmless vice, the cold as ice. I need my pineapple consistently. I eat religiously, I need my sweetness instantly. And every time that she's around, she's sweet, I'm signing this, she's sour. Just wait an hour, my little flower. And every time that she's around, she's sweet, I'm signing this, she's sour. Just wait an hour, my little flower. She might be everything I need, but she's so sour, yeah. But she's so sour. If only she was just as sweet, but she's too sour, yeah. Yeah, she's too sour. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I need another double. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I guess she's all I'm after. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I need another double. She got an attitude, I call her pineapple, yeah. She's sweet with sour moods, I guess she's all I'm after.
Did you notice I've been lost, staying up to the break of dawn, hoping that you'll show a little warmth, but you know I feel the coldest when I'm wrapped around your finger. Did you notice that you put me through the ringer when you said that you needed solace that I can't offer you? I found the light in all this, something to get me through. Now every day is a challenge, top down, blowing smoke out. It's not good for my balance. It sounds great, but I'm burnt out. Cause now the drugs aren't working. I've taken all I can, but my heart's still hurting. This can't be all I am, cause leaving me so lonely only left me half a man. Now the highs aren't worth it, the drugs aren't working. Did you notice when I passed you yesterday that I was frozen? Thinking, flashing back, I can't live in the moment. My heart's still in the past, but we ain't spoken since you left me broken. When you said that you needed solace that I can't offer you, I found a light in all this, something to get me through. Now every day is a challenge, top down, blowing smoke out. It's not good for my balance. It sounds great, but I'm burnt out. Cause now the drugs aren't working. I've taken all I can, but my heart's still hurting. This can't be all I am, cause leaving me so lonely only left me half a man. Now the highs aren't worth it, the drugs aren't working. Now the drugs aren't working. I've taken all I can, but my heart's still hurting. This can't be all I am,
Deceiving me so lonely, only left me evermore. Never had already rejected.
I've been on my way up, now it's really far down. I don't think I'll feel it when I hit the ground. In October it feels like summertime. I keep falling for you like every night.
Hello there, YouTubes, Twitches, all of that shit. It's the happy hour. And I am Kevin Logan, putting the Ming into Birmingham. Yes. And joining me as ever, she puts the sin in Wisconsin. Seriously, she's a sinner, she's a heretic. Burn her at the stake. Start to Kristi Winters.
Oh, Kevin, you have the best intros.
Thank you.
I really do enjoy them.
How are you?
Yeah, well, I am now learning what the topic of the show was, since we got into a 5-minute diversion of how great David Mitchell was before the show, instead of actually talking about what the show was about. So I think that's, when you kind of like answer, how are you? Why don't you go ahead and tell us what was the inspiration for the show? But first, how are you, Kevin? Your hair is looking very swept over to one side tonight.
It's delicious. Yeah, I had a shower, so it's dampened down.
Yeah.
I can probably make it look a bit emo, I reckon.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, correct. But anyway, I can do that. Look
Yeah,
C.
okay.
There we go.
Right.
Anyway, so what do you think of my meme? I did a meme.
Yeah, did you make this all by yourself?
I did, with no help from anyone. I did the colouring in. I stayed inside the lines.
And did you make it in paint?
Of course I fucking did.
And how long did it take you?
2 seconds. It's just writing the word lol over a dead body of Joseph Stalin. So,
Because fuck Stalin.
well, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, okay, this is going to sound bad.
Don't say it then.
Given the chance, right? Because it's Stalin, right? It's a big, important person of history. If I had a chance on his corpse, I'd have a bash.
Kevin.
Why not? What's it going to... I'd defile the corpse of Joseph Stalin every day. Yeah.
There are other ways to defile a corpse.
Well, there are,
that.
but when you've got the best way, why would you choose the not best way? The fuck's wrong with you?
So you want to
Jesus.
tell us what inspired this title and the meme and all the effort you went to?
All of the effort. All of the effort. Anyway.
Yes.
Tankies are pricks.
Yeah.
Is the basic gist of it. I was talking to... I don't know if you're aware of him, a guy called Rob Rousseau. He writes...
Yes.
Yeah. I was chatting to him on Twitter.
Okay.
And he's a prick. He was like basically defending North Korea, and I was just trying to say, like, look, just because the CIA don't like North Korea and I don't like North Korea does not mean I'm the CIA.
Okay, so imagine that I were an interstellar alien, and you had to describe, like, what is the thing that all Tankies, like, what characterizes Tankies, and why do you object? Like, what's about them?
Firstly, before we even get there, the noise happened, didn't it?
Did it?
Greyon Wannabe resubscribed with Prime. Thank you very much. They say almost done with the first trimester. Yeah, 2 months into a pregnancy. I mean, the com's barely dried up. Yeah, what's right? Come on now.
I hope no one is eating while watching or listening to this show.
Yeah.
Just gonna let that. But that
settle.
mental image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's how it works.
All right. Yeah. So yes.
Yes. So Tankies. Yeah, Tankies are garbage. They defend authoritarian assholes constantly.
Is a fundamental thing here that they, like, whereas Marx talked about people owning their own labor and working collectively in order to kind of leverage that labor power in order to make sure that they get a fair shake. That Tankies kind of like see the state as the people, and they're willing to support anything the state does in order to impose an economic structure that they approve of.
Yeah, basically, yeah, they will support anything. I think someone said that if America just started calling itself socialist and changed nothing, maybe put the hammer and sickle on the flag and that's it, Tankies would lose their shit over it. They'd be, yeah, this is socialism with American characteristics. Like, it's just a joke. It's a farce.
Okay. And I see the thing that I don't get about Tankies, especially like Tankies and who've grown up in Western democracies, is that surely the whole point of the critique of capitalism was that it took away the dignity of individuals.
Yes.
So why would you support a political system that takes away the dignity of individuals?
Because they don't care about the dignity of anyone. They care about LARPing as like a revolutionary. It's quite embarrassing.
Yes. It just seems a bit morally incoherent to me.
Yeah, well, because they're not coming at it from any moral or political perspective. Like, ask them about policy, and they've got nothing. They've got nothing. It's just, oh, can we march around and have tanks in Red Square? That's it. That's genuinely all they care about.
Okay.
It's like a weird, like, they get hard at the thought of, like, being the boot on the neck, is essentially it.
Okay.
So, yeah, Rob Rousseau was, oh, God, it was so embarrassing. He was like standing North Korea, being like, well, I don't want to criticise them because they're...
Let's start at the beginning.
Okay. So, Socialism Done Left, who's awesome, says, going on about North Korea stands. Rob pipes up. Do you want to be Rob?
Yeah, I can be Rob. So if you want to start with, Socialism Done Left, the original tweet. So
Okay.
laugh my fucking ass off.
Oh, yes. Oh, hang on. LMFAO. I can't wait for a literal North Korea stand to tell me all about how the US is an oppressive one-party state and North Koreans just keep freely electing the Kim dynasty members.
Fair point. Okay. Rob replies, or quote tweets it and replies, "It's strange to me how there's this whole ecosystem of leftist accounts that apparently just hang around all day and talk about how terrible North Korea is. Leave North Korea alone. LOL." Which
is ridiculous, because I mean,
they
obviously
violate human rights on a daily basis.
All I ever talk about, Kristi, is North Korea. I think we know that.
Well, there is a happy hour about North Korea.
Yeah, exactly. It's sarcastic. Title. It's I mean, it's a homage to I don't even know. What was his name again? The South Korean dude. Oh fuck! I've forgotten his bastard name. Never mind. Anyway, I was going to do a fascist dictator joke. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so Rob getting butthurt here for no
feeling
fucking
spanked.
reason. Yeah, just silly.
Feeling spanked over North Korea.
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot the reply to the original tweet.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Little did I know that posting twice ever about North Korea in response to a literal Jucheist, Juche is the political philosophy of North Korea, would upset Rob Rousseau, LMAO. He's lost the F though. There's no F on that one. So.
All right, it's pretty simple. We helped create the desperate conditions in North Korea.
Tiny monkey army.
They're committing brutal mass murder and war crimes there, followed by decades of sanctions to deliberately starve and impoverish them. I'd rather use my platform to talk about that.
No, that is true to a degree, but also...
It's sidestepping and virtue signaling.
Yeah, also they could have done something about this. Other countries in the region don't live in such desperate situations.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I just responded...
This wasn't... Yeah, go ahead. It wasn't entirely externally created.
No.
There were internal conditions that have been perpetuated, yes.
Yeah. Like, just because the US exists does not give you a pass to be a fascist royal family dictatorship thing.
Right. Yes. You don't get to go, oh, they were really bad, they oppressed us, now let me oppress you more.
Yeah. So I just responded with, you literally can, meaning you can just talk about whatever you want. Also, you can oppose multiple things at any given time. So you can say, yes, US imperialism bad, but also North Korea prison camps bad.
Yeah.
Oh, there's lots of noises happening there. Good Lord. Anyway, thank you to Elysian Gauntlet with 100 bits that says, Soviet, lol defend, it's not 100 sheer imperialism, scream. Okay. Thank you. That's, I mean...
Those are words.
Yeah. And Deep Dish Bard...
In an order.
In an order. Not necessarily the right order, but an order. And Deep Dish Bard, fucking legend, seriously. If you want twos up on Stalin's corpse, by all means, is what I reckon. With 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So you definitely get...
Hizza.
I mean, we stay at opposite ends. I don't want it to be weird. But if you want a 3-way with Stalin's corpse, let's do this.
Clip that part, Twitch.
Monetizable. Anyway, so Rob then responds with this.
Oh, sorry. No, I'd rather just focus on opposing U.S./Western imperialism rather than contributing to it.
You're making him sound a bit of a lush. A little bit.
Lush isn't like he's been drinking?
A little bit. He's only a couple in, but he's on the way.
Oh, I guess I was thinking he was being a bit more sort of like saucy and sarcastic, and condescending.
Yeah. Okay. If
so,
that's the way you saw it, yeah, you did nail it. Absolutely pinged it. Hang on, where are we? There we go. Sorry, I'm still getting set up. So I just said, accepting reality is not contributing to US imperialism. That is insane shit.
Accept reality, Rob. You must impose imperialism, but also oppose the governments of North Korea, Iran, Iraq, China, Venezuela, Cuba, Vietnam, and every other official U.S. state enemy.
Yeah. Firstly, Iraq and Vietnam are actually both officially allies of the United States. I don't know if you knew that, Rob. Foreign policy, not your expertise, I imagine. But also, note that I only mentioned North Korea.
Yes.
So why is he listing? I'm not said anything about any of these other countries.
Well, what he's doing is instead of actually and directly addressing the point you were making, he is throwing out red herrings in order to move the goalposts so that he doesn't have to admit that North Korea does horrific things and he really shouldn't exempt it from criticism.
Yeah, indeed. Anyway, so I just said I didn't mention any of these countries. So I don't know why you're throwing them out there. Comma, homie.
My point is that I don't think it's really useful or helpful to spend time denouncing and opposing countries that are already being threatened by imperial violence. Also worth pointing out that the reality of what we understand about North Korea is heavily influenced by Western propaganda.
Yeah.
How are you liking my Rob interpretation? I feel like I've really found his character, like his motivation.
I think you have. I think you've tapped into something, a deep well of acting genius. And I just said, no one is saying you have to spend time on speaking about North Korea at all. You're the one. So it's supposed to be inserted yourself into the discourse to chastise others.
And by the way, no, go up, because he's doing it again. This is the red herring. I mean, the CIA literally pays North Korean dissidents to make up stories about how terrible it is there. This from The Guardian, not exactly a random anti-imperialist newsletter.
Yeah, again.
I just want to have all my moments of Rob while I can.
Yeah.
Squeezing the life out of this.
Always leave the proles wanting more, goddammit. Anyway. Yeah, and I agree the CIA are dog shit, and they absolutely are, but that doesn't change the fact that we know that North Korea's fuckery. Stop, what are you doing, Rob?
Okay, but do you see my point, though?
I'm more annoyed with Rob Rousseau now, because he sounds way more sarcastic than when I first read it.
You want me to, quote-unquote, accept reality, but we don't even know what reality is.
Shut the fuck up, Rob.
I don't think we should just accept horror stories about North Korea at face value when we don't know for a fact that this kind of shit is going on.
And I just said, come on, that's a cop-out. Bro, trying to keep it informal, you know? We know enough to suggest it's pretty fucky there, and they could disprove the bullshit by allowing full access to independent, international observers. which is true.
Blankets.
Why would they be hiding their totally clean human rights record from international observation?
Motherfucker, we can see the prison camps from satellite pictures.
Yeah.
We can see that shit from space. They exist.
Yeah.
So stop going on about the CIA. I mean, you can go on about the CIA, but not as a way to not talk about North Korea.
Well, exactly, yeah. That's the it's obfuscation. It's whataboutism. Yeah, the America's bad, the UK's bad. This Rousseau's actually Canadian. The Canadian government's bad, but that doesn't stop the North Korean government from being bad.
Right. They can also be shit.
Yeah, and I had this and then went on. That's basically the end of me and Rob chatting, but loads of his weird, larpy fucking douchebag Stalin wannabe pricks tried to jump up in my hizzle. That doesn't make sense. But anyway, they tried to get. So I was going through it with them and ranting and all the rest of it. It was a lot of fun. But they're just mindless people, man.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, it's such poor. This is all like specious argumentation.
Yeah.
These are a series of logical fallacies in order to avoid dealing with the main point, because he can't defend it.
Indeed.
And so you're reduced to logical fallacies, which means you don't have an argument.
Indeed. So we're this is unrelated, but someone sent me this last night, so I thought, fuck it. An old friend of the show, Chuche Gang. Who he is, absolutely. You didn't remember him, but I reminded you. I refreshed your memory, and he was a guy who used to contact me on DMs on Twitch
And shout at you in all caps and call you. He called you an amazing insult.
Yeah,
that you were just in love with.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Non-Binary Superpowers, which is an awesome name for following. Anyway, so yeah, and he's an infrared stan, Cal Surprise. Thank you. Deep Dish Bard gifted a sub to Non-Binary Superpowers. Deep Dish Bard, seriously. You know what? You get to choose which end.
Wow, that's that's generous from Cal.
Exactly. I can't say fairer than that. I mean, I want Bussy, obviously, but I'll take head if necessary. Anyway, that's me talking about me inserting my penis into the corpse of Joseph Stalin.
Yeah,
For those who
this
don't
is why you're not monetized.
Well, that and many, many other things.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Juche Gang,
like this.
infrared stan, naturally. It's
Or
been,
infrared.
or it might actually be infrared. That's perfectly plausible. And there's no bigger stan of infrared than infrared
No.
because he's rising.
Let's
you
be
understand?
honest.
So yeah,
He
infrared.
keeps telling us.
Indeed. Going after Thoughts Line this time. The YouTube Canadian.
Yes.
I think that's the best way of
YouTube
describing
Canadian?
it. YouTube
Yeah.
Canadian. Very good. You should go and follow Thoughts Line, by the way. There's some naughty words coming up,
Okay. Yes. Content warning.
but even so. Juche Gang, apropos of nothing. There's been no back and forth here. This is all Juche Gang until
This
the
is the
very last
opening.
message. Yeah.
This is like opening. Okay.
Yeah.
Greeting.
You dumbass cancer should have been aborted because you're a special virus.
I think technically that's called a salutation when you write a letter.
Yes, it is. That's an icebreaker if ever you've seen one.
Yes.
But I like the fact that it's a special. You're not any old virus, Thought Slime. You are a special virus.
Special.
Yeah.
Special one.
Did-
Well,
but-
it's nice to be special.
Indeed. Debate infrared, you pussy cock bitch. Wow, what a charmer. But at least he's saying that in a normal voice.
Yes.
Not
He's
anymore.
not shouting.
Not
Oh, wait.
anymore. No. You libtards, piece of shit, are disappearing everywhere. Cry like a useless sack of piss, dickhead, waste man Americans. Are the dumbest people on the planet. Fuck yourself. Caleb inhalated. You and Luna should cut your small balls, you useless prick off to gulag dipshit. Freeze in Siberia, your shithead will turn into pulp. Fuck punch your face and burn you like fucking cops. You're moron dipshit. Is one of the greatest poems I've ever read.
What is a fuck punch?
It's, well, Joseph Stalin's corpse is about to find out. I don't know. But I like
I'm
that.
a little bit confused.
Piss,
I mean, yeah,
dickhead, waste man, Americans is my favourite bit.
that is really good.
Yeah.
That is high quality random swear words.
Yeah. Your shithead will turn into pulp, fuck punch your face and burn you. Your shithead? Okay, that's amazing. And then I got this, right? So they, you useless sack of shit, there's an R slur in there, blah, blah, blah. And then nothing.
Fuck off, prick turd.
Yeah, fuck off, prick turd.
What is a
One word, prick turd. Useless sack of piss.
It's a compound noun.
And then comes back with dipshit loser cock. And then Thought Slime just says, hi. Beautiful. Just
This is what happens when you get like to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube or 100,000.
Yeah.
Like, it's a shithole. It's an absolute shithole.
So Tankies, not particularly great. Not particularly great people.
No.
So whilst we're on the Tanky arc,
I have a question for you.
Oh, go on.
Before we move off of infrared.
Go on then.
At what point do we call him Jesus because he is risen?
Oh, true. Or maybe he's like yeasty bread.
Yeah. He's starting to like spill out of the pan and really bubble over, and you need to stick that in the oven.
An erect penis.
Yes. If he's been risen for more than 4 hours, he should call a doctor.
He should. He absolutely should.
Next time you're trolling him, ask if he's been risen for 4 hours.
Indeed. Oh, thank you to Mix Vivian Wolf for raiding. Legendary activity. Everyone go and subscribe to Mix Vivian Wolf. Or at least follow. I can't ask you to give money to anyone, but go and follow them. They are...
Yeah, you can.
Well, I can. Yeah, go and subscribe to them immediately. Don't give me money. Fuck that noise. Go and give it to Mix Vivian Wolf. Yeah. Yes. So, well, to the raiders. Hello there. I'm Kevin Logan. I'm a socialist content creator. And I'm joined by Kristi Winters, who I believe slays goblins for a living.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, and we're looking at some weird tanky bullshit. Oop. Indeed. There's no way I'm pronouncing that. Smitty, thank you for following. Yeah, did you see that? How that was spelt, Kristi? Try and say that one.
No, I didn't. You want me to?
Werbenjer Jensen.
Well, I would say Werben Jaeger Manjensen.
Oh, you nearly did it. You were so close.
That's not quite as good as Manfredjensen, which is from a fish called Wanda.
Yes.
But very close.
Yeah.
Very close.
Anyway.
I approve.
Good. Well, thank you. So anyway, whilst we're on the Tanky arc, you sent me this weird thing, didn't you? Teen Bolsheviks' internal revolution.
Oh, yeah.
So I presume, as Carl's talking about a Bolshevik thing, it's a Tanky thing, right?
Well, first, should we look at the hot political topics that, if you click on the podcast into a new window, let's just go through their most recent videos.
Okay.
And see what kind of real political insights they're providing to their subscribers, shall we?
Yes.
I'm going to click on the videos, the video panel at the home.
Okay. So, Trevor Noah. Okay.
Stop Asian hate.
Stop Asian. The most peaceful Miami part. Oh, Kristi also lives in a fucking airport.
Oh, yeah, planes are flying again.
Yeah, Kristi literally lives... She's like Tom Hanks from that movie. She just lives in the fucking airport now.
Yes,
yeah.
I had to move there.
Yeah. Yes. Not like the other Tom Hanks film that was set in Germany. We won't go into it. It was ages ago. Anyway, the mostly peaceful part, that was a Nazi reference. Did you get it?
I was thinking Bridge of Spies.
Is that also set in Germany? I don't know.
Well, it might be set in East Germany.
Well, that's Germany.
I haven't
Kristi.
seen it in years. I saw it once, like 8 years ago.
Is that the one where he has to exchange the Russian spy?
Yeah, and it's got...
yeah, that was a good film, actually.
Who is that brilliant fucking actor whose name I've forgotten now? Anyway, one of my favorite actors whose name is escaping me is in that movie.
Okay, we'll have a look. Bridge of Spies.
Yes.
Well,
he ran the Royal Shakespeare Company for a while. He was in Wolf Hall. He's just such an his acting is so understated.
Alan Alda?
Mark Rylance.
Oh, okay, Mark Rylance.
brilliant.
Who's that
Freaking
guy? Yeah.
He's really good. They can't see him because he's on the wrong side of the page, so you have to pull it over to see his picture or click on it.
That one.
I think that'll show up, or at least half of it will.
I don't
That's
care.
probably good enough.
Anyway, that dude. So yeah, most peaceful party.
Yeah, in Miami.
Oh, so the
spring break.
Okay, spring break. Okay. Teen Vogue. Oh no, Teen Vogue anti-capitalist scholar.
Yeah, that's what we're watching for the first 3 minutes.
Oh
yep.
God, Labour MP can't condemn riots. George Floyd memes are illegal. Bristol's socialist riots.
They were socialist.
Huge lockdown anti-protest. Ellen Page virgin meme. What? Arrested for calling his daughter she. Oh, that's a lie, by the way. It was Jordan Peterson was pushing that. It was because he led a campaign of public condemnation and abuse against his own daughter. So it's got nothing to do with him calling her she.
No, but they're they're transphobic as fuck.
Indeed. Joe Biden, Putin, blood sports. Cardi B. Rule Britannia is racist. Oh, fucking hell.
Will Russia ban Twitter? 100,000 It's like the fucking Daily Mail.
He is. Yeah, he's been that for years, Kristi. Yeah.
Yeah. He is like YouTube's Daily Mail. And he's only getting like
BBC
40,
decides
60,000.
impartiality matters. Does it in comedy? Really? Interesting. Because I thought they were against cancel culture. But they're pro that.
Remember we had like 800,000 subscribers and getting like 150K every video?
Yeah.
And now, if you look at his metrics, the ones that are the most popular are about Britain. He's lost his American audience, I think.
Oh, good. But
despite all his attempts to do American politics.
But as he's pro the cancelling of Nish Kumar, I think it's time to get my cock out.
Oh, yeah, get it. Get it out.
Logan's amazing conservatives of cancel culture. Cocks and penis.
Yep. The conservatives of cancel culture. Because they fucking love it.
You might need to make the screen a little bit smaller. When they cut to Joey. Oh, we should do the Sargon and Joey bit, too.
Oh, do I have that? Hang on. Yes, look at
it. Wanker. Prick.
Exactly. Anyway, so, yeah, they love cancelling people. Like, literally, the Nish Kumar story, for those who don't know, the BBC axed a political comedy show because it was left-wing. So, literally, cancelled it for its political views. It was getting good figures. Its viewing figures were fine.
Yep.
It was well acclaimed by, I don't know, industry people and all the rest of it. It won awards. But it was thrown away because of left-wingism within it, even though it had Jeff Norcott, who is an avowed conservative, as one of the presenters as well, but whatever. So that is the definition of cancel culture.
Yep, they literally canceled the show.
Yeah, indeed. Anyway, so I haven't seen any of this, so I have no idea what to expect. Well, apart from the fact that he's calling Teen Vogue Bolshevik, which is fun.
Yes. Also, Vogel, when you say that was painfully loud, if you don't say what that was, we won't know to adjust the volume next time. So you have to specify what was loud. Just FYI.
Yeah. Neo-Nazi groups use Instagram to recruit young people. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll have a look at that later. Thank you, non-binary superpowers. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. This is just ridiculousness, and it's less than 3 minutes. So
okay, let's have a look.
So Teen Vogue has become a communist publication. Now, you might think, well, that's...
Already good. It's already good.
I told you.
Teen Vogue has become a communist. Can I get some C's in chat for communist, please, people? Let's do this. Teen Vogue has become communist. Good.
Yes.
Okay. Quality activity.
Sounds kind of an extreme statement. But
yeah, it does rather. Yeah, it does.
On Teen Vogue for communism. They've got a tag. And they've got lots of articles under that tag. One of them was this one. As you can see, it's Karl Marx. But if you can scroll down to the...
I presume it's not articles describing the Holodomor situation in North Korea, the leap...
The Holodomor situation in North Korea? That's not... That... Oh, my God. You fucking deranged lunatic.
Get some help.
Indeed. Indeed, Joey, indeed. The Holodomor happened in the Ukraine in the 1920s, 30s, whenever it was. What?
He's trying, Kevin.
The Holodomor in North Korea? Have I gone fucking mad?
Do you want to rewind it back and listen again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I presume it's not articles describing the Holodomor situation in North Korea.
Okay, so the you know that World War that happened on Mars. Fuck it. Let's just the Second World War. Do you remember? Happened on the surface of Mars. It was 70 years later than it actually did. What are you talking about, Joey? You fucking weird little creep.
Also, before we start, can you, because it's very tiny font for me, but you're closer to the screen, what year is this article that they're taking a look at?
To May the 10th, 2018.
2018. So they are really bringing us the freshest takes on Teen Vogue's home landing page.
Indeed, Kristi. And nothing but the freshest cuts of news. Nintendo resubscribed with Prime. 3 months now. We're a third of the way in. The cum's probably dry at that point, I think. C for
We're washed out.
Combobulism?
You only need one. You don't need them all.
Exactly. You only need one. There you go. Anyway.
Okay.
So, the Holodomor happening in North Korea 1 million years ago or something.
Okay, do you want to explain why that's wrong?
Okay, well, the Holodomor was a starvation, famine. Some people call it a genocide. That's politically vexed, but whatever. And that happened in the Ukraine in the 20s. So not in North Korea now.
Or, both of those. Both the place and the time of the event are wrong.
If he'd said the Holodomor type situation in North Korea, that would at least make some sense because he's comparing it. But he said the Holodomor in North Korea, which isn't a thing. Dickhead. Also, what's that got to do with Karl Marx? He's been dead 160 fucking years. Or
I
whatever.
told you were going to like this.
This is madness. Oh, God. Anyway, so 2018. Good stuff.
Yeah.
The leap forward.
No, they're fluff pieces. Like this one. Who is Karl Marx? Meet the anti-capitalist scholar.
An austere scholar.
He was a scholar.
Yeah.
Have you tried to read Capital? It's amazing. I couldn't understand half of it. It's fucking this from the same people who think that Jordan Peterson is a profound thinker.
High-level ideas.
Like, whatever you think of Karl Marx, the man was clearly a pretty fucking good writer. He got people to do countries, like revolutions and shit, over the course of 150 fucking years.
Yes, I'm just going to look up a definition of scholar.
Since Karl Marx was writing, has anyone's writing had a bigger impact on the world?
Him and Darwin.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I'm turning that down a little bit. That's a bit loud.
To conform to that most recent sound effect, a scholar is a specialist in a particular branch of study, especially the humanities. But basically, anyone who is a specialist in a particular branch of study is a scholar, and Karl Marx wrote the seminal Critique of Capitalism, which is still taught in basic economics today because it's so fundamental to our understanding of capitalism.
So you could say he was like an expert in economics.
He was yes. Would you call him an economist, do you think?
I would. Yes, I would call him both an economist and a philosopher.
All right, so you're going to go out on a limb.
Yeah.
Say he was an economist. All right, that's just going to be relevant later.
Indeed. So thank you to Azazir08 for following.
Thank you.
Scholar.
Yeah, an austere communist scholar. And this is just an amazing fluff piece. This is written 2018, so they've been doing this for a while. And their social media is actually hilarious because it alternates between like, here's a piece of fashion advice, and also here's why we need the revolution. It's like, what? But anyway, I'll just read a couple of bits. You may have come across the communist memes on social media. The man, the meme, the legend behind this trend is Karl Marx, who developed the theory of communism, which advocates for workers' control over their labor instead of their bosses. Weird how the opposite has always happened under communism and no one's been in control of any of their labor and they've been sent to forced labor camps.
Yeah, every single person who's ever lived in a communist society has always gone to a gulag. That is an absolutely accurate description and not at all a ridiculous straw man that you've been made up in your head because of actual propaganda you've been fed, you simpleton.
he is a simpleton. Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Derp.
See, I'm beginning to think maybe Marx wasn't a scholar and Karl is a scholar. I'm beginning to think
you know, that you could maybe make, I think, a pretty convincing argument for that. I bet.
Yeah.
If you worked at it.
Yeah. I mean, fuck me. This is already. I'm dreading this. I don't know what it's going to be. Ugh.
Just really weird. The Communist Manifesto is most usually the work of Marx taught in schools, and he is one of the most assigned economists in US college classes. I don't think he's an economist at all. I think that's a really optimistic way of describing it.
What? He wrote, like you say, a seminal work of economics. You can disagree with it. You can think he was completely and utterly wrong. That's, although I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Karl probably hasn't read anything ever, but especially Karl Marx's writings. You can disagree with it, Karl, but he is an economist. Look, I hate Murray Rothbard. I think he's an evil man who did evil shit by writing the neoliberal handbook, right? But he was an economist because he wrote about economics.
He was published. He didn't just write on it. He was published.
Yeah, he was taken very seriously by like heads of government and other economists and politicians and shit. Like, yeah, I hate him, and I think he's very badly wrong on a number of areas. But he was an economist. Yeah.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Like I said, I wanted to get you on the record since you went out on a limb earlier and stated an obvious fact of history.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay, so the Holodomor happened in North Korea and Karl Marx wasn't an economist.
In this little fantasy world that they built in their studio.
This is good. This is like, I don't know, history Mad Libs, just to make shit up. Just do whatever.
It's kind of like visiting, Earth 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Yes.
If the world went very wrong.
Yeah. Fucking hell, this is good. Okay.
Anyway, so how can teens learn the legacy of Marx's ideas and how they're relevant to the current political climate? Teen Vogue chatted with two educators about how they apply these concepts to the current events in the classroom. Former Drexel University professor George Cicarillo Marr uses Marx to teach history through an emotional, fluid, and ever-changing lens. Do you remember him?
No.
He's the guy in Christmas 2019 who tweeted out, "All I want for Christmas is white genocide."
Oh.
Oh, yeah, and you fucking lunatics tried to get him fired for a joke. Yeah, we remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you think, right, so they've just talked about this. They've covered one of the people they've interviewed. Now they're going to go into the content of the article, right?
I would hope so. That would seem like the natural progression of things, yes.
All right. Well, keep rolling.
Right, he's a Marxist.
Right. Yeah, what a shock. Yeah. And he's a former professor because he used to be teaching communism. But anyway, so this gives you an example of just...
No, just time out. They don't teach communism.
No.
They teach economics or philosophy or whatever particular thing he's in. So they'll teach Karl Marx and they'll also teach the Chicago School, which would include people like Murray Rothbard. They'll teach a breadth of things because that's how social sciences work, Karl.
Yeah, they're called theories.
Yeah.
And you still don't know what they are. But yeah, they teach critical theory and they teach sort of like, like not critical theory or whatever. But
yeah,
yes,
within sociology,
they teach a lot of people's ideas.
Yeah, in sociology, it's separated into it's consensus theory and critical theory. So you've got consensus theory is more like conservative type
hegemonic.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's yes.
I did A level on that, which is like junior and senior year in high school for Americans of sociology, and it was interesting stuff. And you do get taught Marxism, you get taught feminism, you get taught Marxist feminism and feminist Marxism, which are two different things, believe it or not. But you also get taught like broken windows theory, which is like the conservative zero tolerance crime.
Right, crack down on minor things to stop things higher up. Yeah.
Yeah, you get taught all of that because that's what a well-rounded education in a topic does. You learn stuff.
Yeah, speaking of learning stuff, I want to do a shout out to LOLUK, who writes, "Oh, by the way, Kristi, my monograph comes out at the end of July. Congratulations on your success and your publication." So yeah, doing a happy dance for you in my heart.
Isn't that just the way it's like glasses, but one of them?
Publication? What?
A monocle.
A monograph.
Oh right. Oh, so it's just one graph. Okay.
It's a fancy way of saying a nerdy academic book.
Yeah, I mean, fucking.
It's not
just absolute geeks everywhere. I'm surrounded.
You are
surrounded by these clever people. It disgusts me.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's listen to some more not clever. Well, let's listen to not clever people. Like Carl's.
Well, to cut your logos, I would happily talk to Caleb Muppin. Absolutely, it would be fucking brilliant. I'd love it, but I don't know that he knows I exist. Anyway, but yeah.
Most people don't know we exist.
No, that's the beauty of irrelevance.
Special.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You're very special, by which I mean you could be watching good stuff. You've chosen not to, and that's on you. Okay.
But you're here instead.
How unbelievably far down the communist rabbit hole Teen Vogue is. And
communist rabbit hole.
All I want for Christmas is white genocide, man.
Yeah, saying how great Karl Marx was.
Yeah, but I mean, we do want white genocide, don't we? So that was
you do, Kevin.
Is that
you're so anti-white.
Is that a joke? Not sure. Don't know anymore. Yeah, no, Caleb is a joke, but I'd talk to him because it's fun. I've talked to worse people than that. Jesus, fucking hell.
I mean, what more do you need?
I mean, pro-genocide stuff as it goes.
As it goes, Teen Vogue has a surprising preference for it. Again, when I was a kid, Teen Vogue...
I think it's interesting that you've got the British fucking flag behind you talking about pro-genocide. You do fucking shit.
Well, he doesn't know the history, does he?
Yeah. They call it the butcher's apron for a reason.
Ooh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. It's an Irish phrase, but I presume they've got similar phrases in other languages around the world. But yeah, because it's that literally soaked in human blood for centuries. Yeah.
Can you go back 5 seconds? Because we're going to get some really insightful analysis, a media content by Carl here.
Good.
Teen Vogue has a surprising preference for it. Again, when I was a kid, Teen Vogue was just a magazine for girls. Like, it was just about fashion and makeup, as far as I remember. I mean, I never read it.
Never read it. Never read it, but he knows exactly what was inside it. Because it was for girls, it's clearly just like makeup and shoes and stuff, you know. No communisms.
No feminism.
No. Anyway.
No, there's never any feminism in Teen Vogue.
Cat.
Kitty Cam.
What you doing, Roddy Kids? Oh, he wants to bite me. He wants to bite me. Okay, I'll let you go. Yes. Should we go back to Carl while I let the cat out?
Yeah. This is. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, I saw people reading it in school and thought that looks like for girls. Why do I care about that? And now I've got to talk about it because it's promoting communism.
Just everything. What is that law?
I like the idea that Carl went to school. Behave yourself.
Also, that he can confidently pronounce on the content of Teen Vogue since its existence. I mean, talk about talking out of your ass.
Yeah.
He's literally talking out of his ass.
He's talking about Marxism, and I know he hasn't read that either. So why change the habit of a lifetime, I suppose?
Yes.
Everything that isn't right wing.
Conquest second law.
Yeah, everything that isn't explicitly right wing becomes left wing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect example. Anyway,
by the way, did you switch the screen? Did you switch the screen back so people could actually see Carl, or is it you still okay?
I did now. You didn't miss anything. It's just two dickheads.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. They were going to hire a woman called. I assume a woman, actually. I didn't check.
That's it. It's over.
Alexi,
they don't actually look at the article.
I'll just presume.
Oh, for fuck.
Well, you see, if they dealt with the content of the article, they might look at ways that Marxist critical theory can actually give some real insights into economic power and structures. And he can't have that on his show, can he?
No. Heaven forfend. No.
But Kev, I'm sorry, but Carl just declaring that Marx isn't an economist. I just had to have you watch that.
Yeah, I'm blown away. Again, like, it's not just, like, it's so silly, because we get it. He's basically doing virtue signaling, right? He's saying, I'm such an anti-Marxist that I'm going to say Marx wasn't even an economist. But that's really childish. Like I say, there are fuckloads of economists. Virtually every economist now working, I disagree with. But I'm not going to deny that they're economists, because I'm not a fucking 6-year-old who's just going to go, no, he wasn't, he's a bad man, beardy, naughty man. It's fucking ridiculous.
Don't like him.
Yeah, just what the fuck's wrong with you? You're supposed to be a parent.
So this is what
you're someone's example of an adult.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I know it's sad, isn't it? Think about that.
Grim.
Shaping young minds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well. So should we just go off this now? I'm done. I don't want to.
Yeah. No. That was. I told you it was less than 3 minutes, right? Look at where we're at. 2:55.
2:55.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you want to do, as we've got your video up? Should we do white people?
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, Kristi.
Yes.
Tell us about what your racist white people history monthy thing is for today.
I will. Thank you very much, Kevin. I have in particular focused a lot on relationships between Black Americans, well, the oppression of Black Americans by white Americans. But I didn't want to go the whole month without talking about the variety of white racism that has been inflicted on people, including American citizens in the United States. I found this video. There's actually another one too, but we'll see. Hopefully there won't have any problems with this. That discusses some really good details and also just like the civil rights violations of so many Americans during World War II. Because while they went ahead and rounded up Japanese Americans, I don't remember any German American concentration camps or internment camps. Do you, Kevin?
Well, I wasn't alive.
Well, in history class.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there were lots of them.
No, there weren't. This is very much a white racism thing against Japanese Americans. So.
Oh, I thought you said Japanese.
Thanks for playing along. No, I said German Americans.
Oh, sorry, I misheard. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're reading the chat instead of actually listening to me because I'm talking.
Oh, no, because I wanted to make sure, because someone said, what about Richard Wolff?
That's all right.
And I was like, well, I don't want to interject with an economics thing. I did, but just to clarify, I did say most economists. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, there were no German Americans, that's white people. White people.
Yeah. So this is a very worthwhile TED-Ed talk. Let's hope that the copyright censors don't come down on us. If we're not, we'll just do a different stream.
Yeah, so if it cuts out, don't blame me, blame Ted.
Yes.
On December 7th, 1941, 16-year-old Aki Kurose shared in the horror of millions of Americans when Japanese planes attacked Pearl Harbor. What she did not know was how that shared experience would soon leave her family and over 120,000 Japanese Americans alienated from their country, both socially and physically. As of 1941, Japanese American communities had been growing in the U.S. for over 50 years. About 1/3 of them were immigrants, many of whom settled on the West Coast and had lived there for decades. The rest were born as American citizens, like Aki. Born Akiko Kato in Seattle, Aki grew up in a diverse neighborhood where she never thought of herself as anything but American until the day after the attack, when a teacher told her, "You people bombed Pearl Harbor." Amid racism, paranoia, and...
Can you imagine that? Going to school and having your teacher say that to you?
Yeah, that's fucker, yeah. I think we had sort of similar things with the 7/7 attacks here in the UK, where some Muslims were singled out by teachers, but thankfully they were fired.
Yeah, and that's what should have happened and what probably didn't happen at this point in time. And we live in a better society now because people do get fired when this shit comes up. Now, of course, not all of it gets properly dealt with because of he said, she said, he said, whatever situations. But yeah, that's unacceptable for a public educator.
Yeah.
Absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And fears of sabotage, people labeled Japanese Americans as potential traitors. FBI agents began to search homes, confiscate belongings, and detain community leaders without trial. Aki's family was not immediately subjected to these extreme measures. But on February 19, 1942, President Roosevelt issued Executive Order 9066. The order authorized the removal of any suspected enemies, including anyone of even partial Japanese heritage, from designated military areas. At first, Japanese Americans were pushed to leave restricted areas and migrate inland. But as the government froze their bank accounts and imposed local restrictions such as curfews, many were unable to leave. Aki's family.
Can you pause that again?
In March.
So just to, the other one documentary portion that I watched on this mentioned that if you read the language of the bill, it never mentions any ethnicity. But it didn't have to, because everyone knew who it was going to be used against and against whom it was not going to be used.
Sorry. When people saw me smile then, a thing happened. We'll get to it after we've done Racist History Month. But Kristi,
yeah, I see it.
You're seeing that shit? That is...
Yeah, we need to stick with our content and we'll come back to it.
We'll do the serious stuff first, but that is... There's a treat.
Yes.
There's a treat coming later.
Yes.
Okay.
But first, we're all going to get our learn on.
Exactly. Firstly, you eat your fucking greens, and then you get your pud. Okay?
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, the fucked up treatment of Americans in America.
Because they weren't white.
March, a proclamation forbid Japanese Americans from changing their residency, trapping them in military zones. In May, the Army moved Aki and her family, along with over 7,000 Japanese Americans living in Seattle, to Camp Harmony in Puyallup, Washington.
Oh, God.
This was...
Even the name.
Yep.
What kind of Orwellian bullshit is this?
Exactly.
Camp
Oh,
Fluffy...
it sounds so nice.
Camp Fluffy bunnies and kittens for everyone. Yay!
One of several makeshift detention centers at former fairgrounds and racetracks, where entire families were packed into poorly converted stables and barracks. Over the ensuing months, the Army moved Japanese Americans into long-term camps in desolate areas of the West and South.
Pause, please.
Moving Aki and her family.
Can you just go back on the image a little bit? Because there's something I want to point out that's historically accurate. You see how the some of them are wearing tags on their clothes?
Yeah.
It's because they fucking tagged people.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, to bring this up to date, I think probably most famously, the person that was interned was a very, very young at the time, George Takei. Was an internee as a Japanese American.
Yep.
Term camps in desolate areas of the West and South, moving Aki and her family to Minidoka in southern Idaho. Guarded by armed soldiers, many of these camps were still being constructed when incarcerees moved in. These hastily built prisons were overcrowded and unsanitary. People frequently fell ill and were unable to receive proper medical care. The War Relocation Authority relied on incarcerees to keep the camps running. Many worked in camp facilities or taught in poorly equipped classrooms, while others raised crops and animals.
Can you imagine that?
Some
Again,
Japanese
pause.
American-
The U.S. government wasn't even properly providing for them.
Yeah, I could. Well, as with all concentration camps, and let's not pretend that these were anything other than, they don't care if you die, because they don't want you there in the first place.
Yeah.
That's literally the point of it, you know. It's genocidal lunacy.
Americans rebelled, organizing labor strikes and even rioting. But many more, like Aki's parents, endured. They constantly sought to recreate some semblance of life outside the camps, but the reality of their situation was unavoidable. Like many younger incarcerees, Aki was determined to leave her camp. She finished her final year of high school at Minidoka, and with the aid of an anti-racist Quaker organization, she was able to enroll at Friends University in Kansas. For Aki's family, however, things wouldn't begin to change until late 1944. A landmark Supreme Court case ruled that continued detention of American citizens without charges was unconstitutional. In the fall of 1945...
Why wasn't that already a thing?
Yeah, exactly. And even afterwards, it wasn't until 1945 that this shit got taken down.
Mad.
Yeah.
The war ended, and the camps closed down. Remaining incarcerees were given a mere $25 and a train ticket to their pre-war address. But
Again, abandoned.
No longer...
Abandoned.
Yeah.
Just fucking abandoned. No financial compensation. Nothing. To make up for their economic loss or their rights being violated.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
There are still old signs from the Japanese internment camp signs in Kansas. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Had a home or job to return to. Aki's family had been able to keep their apartment, and Aki eventually returned to Seattle after college. However, post-war prejudice made finding work difficult. Incarcerees faced discrimination and resentment from workers and tenants who replaced them. Fortunately, Japanese Americans weren't alone in the fight against racial discrimination. Aki found work with one of Seattle's first interracial labor unions and joined the Congress of Racial Equality. She became a teacher, and over the next several decades, her advocacy for multicultural, socially conscious education would impact thousands of students. However, many ex-incarcerees, particularly members of older generations, were unable to rebuild their lives after the war. Children of incarcerees began a movement calling for the United States to atone for this historic injustice. In 1988, the U.S. government officially apologized for the wartime incarceration,
Pause
admitting
it, please.
the catastrophic...
In 1988.
Ronald Reagan. Right. So if Ronald Reagan can apologize for the violations of civil rights and human dignity that was the internment of Japanese citizens and residents, legal residents, why can't we apologize for slavery?
Yeah,
Why
I mean,
the fuck can't we apologize for slavery?
that's
I mean, that was a good thing to do, but also they should be financially compensated.
yeah, that's a picture there from someone sent me from Kansas today. They've still got the
Oh my God.
yeah.
Yeah, they've got it up as they've got it, hopefully it's a historical place, right? And then they talk about how shit it was and how wrong the wrongs done to these people.
Hopefully, but I'd have to. Yeah, a deep dish bar if you want to give us more info. But either way, it's still it's still a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Result of racism, hysteria, and failed political leadership. 3 years after this apology, Aki Kurose was awarded the Human Rights Award from the Seattle chapter of the United Nations, celebrating her vision of peace and respect for people of all backgrounds. For a heart-wrenching look at how internment affected one family in particular, check out this video on the Akune brothers, united by blood, divided by war.
So that's the end. Yeah.
Yeah. This was the article. Oh. Grenada, Colorado. If you aren't careful, the southeast Colorado rural highway, you might easily pass the signs leading to a site that marks a dark and unjust episode in U.S. history.
That's good.
Slow down, you'll find nestled along the Colorado-Kansas border in Grenada, Colorado, remnants of a gloomy place that even the weeds of the Great Plains can't cover up. The Amachi Japanese-American Relocation Center. Behind the dry bushes sit lone concrete slabs that once housed makeshift homes, a school, even a dance hall for detainees. Oh, so it's not even a historical site, it's just a crumbling wreck of a place. From 1942 to 1945, more than 7,000 Japanese Americans...
Oh, but they've recreated the watchtower where the white people stood.
Naturally.
Sorry.
From 7,000 Japanese Americans and Japanese immigrants were forcibly relocated. What was the Grenada Relocation Center? They were part of more than 110,000 Japanese Americans. That's a city.
Yeah.
Ordered to camps in Colorado, California, Idaho, Arizona, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Fuck me. That's mental.
Yeah, the other documentary I watched talked about how they were basically gouged from all of their assets because when they were forced to move, they were trying to like sell their stuff, and one woman sold a 26-room hotel for $500. They were getting like $5 for their refrigerators, which even the 1940s was obviously just not completely exploiting the situation. So yeah, they lost their generational wealth as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people did.
What's this? Trump administration... Oh, no. Good Lord. The Trump administration to hold migrant children at a base that served as World War II Japanese internment camp. From...
Was that 2019?
2019.
Jesus.
So literally history repeating itself.
The administration to detain...
Shut up. The Trump administration has opted to use an army base in Oklahoma to hold growing numbers of immigrant children in its custody after running out of room at government shelters. Fort Sill, 150-year-old, had selected to detain 1,400 children. I can't see the history bit to this. There we go. Fort Sill, located in several internment camps where Japanese Americans were held during World War II. Between 42 and 46, so even after the war, the US government forcibly removed an estimated 120,000 men, women, children incarcerated. Fort Sill was later used to hold German prisoners of war. So, fucking hell.
Yep, so that's my racist white people. So now, did you want to do a break in between racist white people to deal with the silliness in your Twitch
No,
show?
we'll do.
Okay.
We'll carry on. We'll carry on regardless. So my one is going to seem a little bit more out there. It's not as big a historical event or anything like that, but it's a sign of racism in Britain and all the rest of it. So yes. You were in the country for this, weren't you, in 2004, Kristi? What did you?
Yes.
What do you know of this story? The story of Ron Atkinson.
I just remember hearing there being a kerfuffle, and he was fired, if I remember correctly.
He was indeed.
Yes, and it was only after the firing that it kind of caught on my radar.
Yes.
And it kind of confused me because his name is very close to Rowan.
To Rowan Atkinson, yeah.
Atkinson.
It's literally just it's a W and an A away from being the exact same name.
So I was a little bit confused of why he would be saying something racist on in the sports telly.
Yeah, well, it wasn't him. It was a guy called Ron Atkinson. Now.
Yes, I wish I learned.
Yes, indeed. Now, there are some hard R-ns upcoming. Not from me, from the documentary. We're not going to watch the whole thing. It's an hour long. But there are a couple of clips that I think are worthwhile having a look at. Ron Atkinson was a footballer, a soccer player, and manager and commentator, sports person. He's basically, for Americans, John Madden, if John Madden was slightly less successful as a coach. That's basically that's where we're pitching this, okay? He was a high profile, not so high profile as a player, but as a manager, he managed like Manchester United and various other teams. And as a commentator, he was like the number one dude, right? He got all the big games. He was John Madden. He was, whatever game he wanted to go and do, he could do, right? And then in 2004, his life changed because of racialisms. Shall we take a look at this first little clip? Like I say, if the N-word is a significant enough problem for you, you should probably turn off now. Okay? I've taken the editorial decision that I think it's worth hearing it, though. So.
Well, it's playing the clips, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to say it.
Yes.
Interesting question.
What?
Marcel Desailly has won the French Championship and the FA Cup and the Italian Championship twice. He's won the European Cup 3 times, and with France he's won the European Championship and the World Cup. He lists fine wines amongst his interests and speaks 3 languages.
I'd call Marcel Desailly a lazy, thick nigger.
Yeah. Now, I could play you the clip, but it's quite fuzzy, Ron Atkinson doesn't deny it. He called him that. There was a spite and a venom to the thing as well. He was caught off air, or what he thought was off air, in a hot mic moment, saying that about the guy, who, like I say, I think it's worth putting into context because he's one of the most successful footballers of his generation. He literally was the World Cup winner and all the rest of it.
So that went out live in the middle of a match?
No, and it was after the match. He thought they'd cut to the advert break.
Yeah.
And they hadn't, and he was overheard saying that.
But it went out on television?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
1426. But the thing is, so he's obviously quite a racist, and I wouldn't actually bother advising you going to see this documentary because I think they sort of whitewash him a little bit, which is ironic, I suppose. But it's interesting because the reason that was so shocking was because of his history, because he'd been involved with at a time when racism was rampant in football, and again there are N-words incoming shortly. He was one of the first managers to employ black players back in the late 1970s. So
yeah,
it doesn't
but
make...
if they were good for his team, it didn't matter what color they were. It was the green color that he cared about.
Well, yes and no, because this was sort of pre-big money in football anyway. But secondly, it was genuinely interesting because lots of other managers were very successful and would basically refuse to play black players. So it was like he was a progressive guy for the time.
For the time,
again. And that's not to negotiate. I'm just saying it's a weird, complicated thing. So to give you 1426, where are we? So yes, a little bit of background to the time back in the late 70s.
Okay.
To many people, that Ron Atkinson should have uttered these words is all the more shocking because of the key role he played in developing black footballers in Britain.
It's obvious that we've probably got a little bit more on our plate than we expected.
He became a high-profile manager at a time when black footballers were few and far between.
Come on, now, let's see. You're a winger.
Those who did get a game often had to endure appalling abuse.
Nigger, lick my boots. Oh, God, that used to...
N-word, lick my boots was a very, very common chant.
Jesus.
The club in question that they're about to reference, West Bromwich Albion, so their initials were WBA, and they used to have graffiti regularly scrawled underneath, "We buy Africans." None of the three men that are about to be referenced were from Africa.
I just, chuck him out of the stadium and bar him for life.
Well, at the time, that was just normal.
That was the fan base.
Yeah, that was normal. That was just accepted.
But it's not a racist country.
No, there's no racialisms. The fact that most of the people who are doing that are still alive, many of whom in senior positions of government and finance and things, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you don't chant it out loud anymore means obviously all the people in the stands are not at all racist.
No racism there.
To just go straight through me.
You're looking up onto the terraces and you've got this wall of hate coming at you, but they were blokes mostly of my generation calling me all sorts of things, but quite often standing with their arm around their 8 or 9-year-old boy. It's good because daddy's doing it, obviously thinks it's okay and he's calling you the same thing.
Well, there's a famous picture of me backheeling a banana, and of course there's a black player kicking a banana off the field. We're talking about getting rid of racism, so it's a great picture, and a big deal was made of it. And I remember 3, 4, 5 years earlier playing for Watford against Millwall or West Ham, when much worse, many more bananas and much more abuse coming on the field, and it wasn't even reported because that's Watford versus Millwall.
I've heard stories of England fans.
Yeah, the bananas were a regular thing. Throwing bananas at a black player. And I think probably the best reaction ever was, I think it was Garth Crooks or someone. There's a famous piece of old footage of someone throws a banana at him as he's taking a corner. So he bends down, picks it up and eats it. And then throws the banana away.
But,
just like, fuck
you.
You throw it at me, I'll eat the bastard thing, you prick,
I mean, I just think as a coach, you'd almost walk out onto the pitch and pull your players off.
Well, they do now in a lot of cases. There have been walk-offs because of racism and stuff. But at the time, like I say, I suppose from their perspective, I mean, many of them were racist themselves, as Ron Atkinson proved, even though he would employ black players. And of course, if he were to do that, then no game would ever finish. Like that happened to every game.
Well, then maybe that was the right punishment. I mean, I get it. But at the time, it was open white supremacy. Now it's sort of muffled white supremacy. Yeah. But it's just shocking to me because this kind of, if this is how they treated people on the teams, even their own team.
Well, there's
in some cases.
A much more recent story of a guy called Paul Eiffel, a black player who played for Millwall. And one of his own fans came onto the pitch racially abusing a black player from the opposing team, and him going up to him and saying, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm a black guy on your team," and all the rest of it. And he says, "No, you're one of the good ones, though." Like, what do you do with that? That level of ignorance, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, but what I was the link I was going to try to make was, if people did this so openly on television, with no consequences, what were they doing to people in the streets? It wasn't on film.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, this was technically it'd been outlawed, but there was still the old thing: no N-words, no Irish, no dogs outside of like boarding houses and stuff. That had been made illegal, but it was still happening. Everyone knew it was still happening. Black people were being they're still racially policed, but it was like so much more rampant at the time. Actually, there's talking about Rowan Atkinson.
It was just open, yeah.
There's a great when Rowan Atkinson got his start on a show called Not the 9 O'Clock News. Hang on, Rowan Atkinson, racist police. Now this is a comedy sketch, but it's telling of the way in which people perceived the police at the time.
Skip ahead.
So this is from 1980, so around the same time.
Ah, Constable Savage. Come in, shut the door. Now then, Savage. I want to talk to you about some charges that you've been bringing lately. I think that perhaps you're being a little overzealous.
Which charges do you mean then, sir?
Well, for instance, this one. Loitering with intent to use a pedestrian crossing. Savage, maybe you're not aware of this, but it is not illegal to use a pedestrian crossing. Neither is smelling of foreign food an offence.
You sure, sir?
Also, there is no law against urinating...
No, that's not Hugh Laurie, that's Griff Rhys-Jones.
Not nearly tall enough.
No.
Public convenience? Or coughing without due care and attention.
If you say so, sir.
Yes, I do say so, Savage. Didn't they teach you anything at training school?
Oh, sorry, sir.
Some of the... Some of these cases are just plain stupid. Looking at me in a funny way. Is this some kind of joke, Savage?
No, sir.
And we have some more here. Walking on the cracks in the paper. Walking in a loud shirt in a built-up area during the hours of darkness. And walking around with an offensive wife. In short, Savage, in the space of 1 month, you have brought 117 ridiculous, trumped-up and ludicrous charges.
Yes, sir.
Against the same man.
Yes, sir.
A Mr. Winston Kodogo of 55 Mercer Road.
Yes, sir.
Sit down, Savage.
Yes, sir.
Savage, why do you keep arresting this man?
He's a villain, sir.
A villain?
And a jailbird, sir.
I know he's a jailbird, Savage. He's down in the cells now. We're holding him on a charge of possession of curly black hair and thick lips.
Well, there you are, sir.
You arrested him, Savage.
Thank you, sir.
Savage, would I be correct in assuming that Mr. Kodogo is a coloured gentleman?
Well, I can't say I've ever noticed, sir.
Stand up, Savage. Savage, you're a bigot. It's officers like you that give the police a bad name. The press love to jump on incidents like this, and the reputation of the force can be permanently tarnished. Your time on duty is dominated by racial hatred and petty personal vendettas. Do you get some kind of perverted gratification from going around stirring up trouble?
Yes, sir.
There's no room for men like you in my force, Savage. I'm transferring you to the SPG.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Anyway, so yeah, that's...
Special Patrol Group.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that was her policing of racial situations. Again, a comedy sketch, but telling of a certain attitude, let's say. Yeah. Anyway, so back to this. So, yeah.
Who, certainly in the early days with John Barnes and stuff like that, they were so resentful that there was black players playing for England that if, say, we won 2-1 and John Barnes scored, they would react to the whole game afterwards as if we'd drawn one each, because they wouldn't acknowledge that goal counted because it'd been scored by a black player.
In the 70s, it was unusual to have one black player in a team. But at West Brom, Ron Atkinson regularly picked 3 and is widely credited with helping change the face of British football.
One thing I've never done, I've never allowed anybody's race, colour, creed, or whatever shape or whatever to determine whether they had an opportunity. To me, racism is something when you do something that really, really hurts people or something like that, or doesn't allow people the chance.
Yeah, if you call people thick, lazy N-word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that.
Again, hard R, but the hardest of R. The spiteful, real nastiness to it. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty hurtful.
Yeah.
How many managers really did, look at that player and he is a footballer, but not he is a black footballer. Now, I can say, and I feel that Ron was one of those guys who did do that.
Put back in by Cunningham. Regis! The two coloured players combining beautifully there.
It kind of changed my life. It changed my attitude to race and to black people, and I know it did for thousands of other people in the West Midlands and generally in the country.
Good, strong following of Albion fans have made the journey from the Midlands today.
Ordinary people who were going about their ordinary life would be there cheering and singing the names of black footballers and came to love black footballers and see them as part of their footballing family. And that no other institution has achieved that or could achieve that, I don't think.
Oh, a chance here perhaps for Regis. Oh, what a shot!
Ron insists he only saw good footballers, not good black footballers, in the trio he made famous, or the trio that made him famous, depending on your point of view. They were the defender, Brendan Batson, the late Laurie Cunningham, a gifted winger, and the most dynamic of centre-forwards, Cyril Regis.
Oh, what a great shot! Oh!
And of those 3, both, hang on, I did make notes. Cunningham and Regis would both gone to play for the England national team, becoming only the 2nd and 3rd black players ever to do so, back in 1978, which was a significant step forward. But, I mean, that's what makes it so odd.
Yes.
That he would say that. It's so peculiar.
Also, as a complete aside, the shorts were very short.
Oh, yeah, no, there was you could tell a good package. Or otherwise.
You still can.
Well, you still can, but especially then, I mean...
Yeah.
Just stood still. I'm surprised people weren't hanging out. Must have had good gusset support on the underwear. Anyway.
Silk.
Indeed. There was one extra bit from... Oh, no, there is... Yeah, we'll let this play on for just a second, because there's one thing he did which was so fucking iffy, but was probably seen as progressive at the time. It's anyway.
Okay.
Cyril Regis.
Ron claims never to have noticed colour, but he clearly noticed it enough to spot a marketing opportunity when another famous black trio were in town. He dubbed his stars the 3 Degrees too.
Here's Regis again.
And that is how those 3 are now known. They're remembered as the 3 Degrees. Which itself is sort of racist, but there's another thing, hang on.
It was really radical to have 3 black guys on one side, and the banter was good. We had good teammates, no racial tension there at all, good laughter, and on the pitch, they respected us as players.
Regis took it down beautifully. 2-1.
I used to get the New Musical Express every week. It was like the Christmas 1979 edition. And they had next year's things, and they had a list, and they were all really kind of obscure but potentially hip bands. And then they had West Bromwich Albion as one of them, and that was because we were cool, and we were cool because we got the 3 Degrees.
And in a move that seemed as progressive in 1979 as it would be questionable now, for a benefit match for one of his players, Len Cantello, Atkinson even helped organise a blacks versus whites match. An all-white Albion team took on a black 11.
I can feel. Whoa. Why do they get to be the team? Why do the whites get to be the team? Oh, yes, eyebrow raising.
Yeah.
Whites versus black.
Ugh.
Well, see, this is progressive for white people, for some white people.
Yeah,
Now,
well, just like I say, for the time, even having black players on the fucking pitch. But like I say, I mean, you look back and you just think, oh my God.
Yeah. Yes.
What the fuck were they doing? But anyway, there was one extra good bit of this documentary where a guy called Darkus Howe, now sadly no longer of this world, passed a few years ago, who's a black writer and activist and all the rest of it, got to interview him at a game. Hang on, what was the timestamp? 48:50.
Okay. 48:50.
Oh, yeah, sorry. My bad.
Sorry.
I'm all over the place. Oh, yeah, there was a past example of racism as well. Sorry.
10, and I think recognised the connotation of that comment and said, "You mean a footballing brain, don't you, Ron?" And Ron immediately said, "Oh yes, a footballing."
This is retelling a story from 1990, which I didn't know before, but
brain. He hasn't got a footballing brain.
At half-time, ITV cut back to the studio, but overseas viewers like Ian were hearing a feed from the commentary box where Ron was unaware that his mic was still live. Sound familiar?
Ron Atkinson said, "Do you think I'll get away with that comment?" Brian Moore said, "Oh, I don't know. Yes, I think you're all right there, Ron." And then Ron Atkinson made the comment, well, he said, "I'm not bothered. I'm not particularly bothered about it. I'll only get into trouble if his mother's watching this up in a tree in Africa." It was...
Yes, referring to one of the Cameroon players, who was a black man, obviously. And this was the World Cup quarter-final in 1990. I didn't even know that because I was only 3, but...
I feel gut punched.
Yeah, rough stuff. Yeah, anyway.
Obviously a racist comment. It obviously had racist overtones. The other thing that made me angry, or made everybody else angry, was Brian Moore just let the comment go, as though racism within the commentary box was okay, because he didn't think the microphone was live. And I do believe the same things happened this time.
Ian Mawson wrote letters of complaint to ITV and the press, but the incident was passed over.
The remark was made 14 years ago. It was a jokey thing, you know. I mean, it was a joke. Everybody accepted it as a joke. Thing. It was a bit of a laugh.
It was so.
It was a joke. It's okay to joke about a black person's mother in a tree.
It's kind of funny, isn't it, when you're the one making the offensive comment, it's a joke, right? And that means that people whose feelings weren't hurt, they didn't have a genuine reaction to your racism. Like I despise that.
Yeah.
That excuse.
Sort of twee, and so much the sort of thing that your gran would say, like his mom's at home up a tree, that I'm sure he got his wrist slapped for it, but it didn't seem to have the venom that the Marcel Desailly thing.
Why is it a bigger problem now than back then?
Yeah.
Why didn't the newspapers come down hard on him? Why didn't he lose his job back then?
They didn't care.
But he has now, because it was an accepted part of society to make comments like that back then.
Yep.
Well, the man is an idiot. First of all, to do it twice. You know, that the microphone's been live, and that the fact is anger that he hasn't changed his views or his ideas or anything else, that it is basically there. He is using that language, and he's got those beliefs within the community he works with, both TV and football, and that nothing's been done about it.
Can you pause?
Match day at Ron.
Yeah, if he was caught twice in that time period, how many times wasn't he caught?
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. And actually, I did make a note of this. Again, another one I didn't know. From the same year as the N-word, he said this at an after-dinner speech thing. This is just a horrible piece of anti-Chinese thing, which I didn't even make the papers. But he said, quote, "The Chinese people have the best contraception in the world. Their women are so ugly. I can't understand why there are so many of them." And this is how racism allows, because I didn't know that. I'd never heard that quote before. I checked the links. It seems legit. So he said that, and that didn't even make the papers.
Nope.
That was nothing. Mad. Absolutely mad shit. Anyway, this is the kind of fun bit. A black guy gets to tell him. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
His former club, West Brom, who are playing Chelsea, for whom Marcel Desailly's...
Oh, yeah, and West Brom's quite near to where I live as well. Sort of. It's in the same basic vicinity.
Closer than London.
Well, a lot closer, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I can catch a bus to West Brom. Actually, I was born not far. I was born on the Dudley Road, not far from West Brom. Anyway.
Performance in Monaco aroused Ron's.
It was a hospital. I wasn't born on the road. It was called Dudley Road
and
Hospital. Never mind.
Ron's in attendance, but before he can take his seat in the stand, he has a meeting with one of his most strident critics, the writer and broadcaster Darcus Howe.
Morning.
What is that music?
Fine, thank you.
That was a piece of like reggae music, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You're not aware of that?
That it just sounded like it was from 1980s synth.
No. I can't remember what's the song called. People will know. Anyway.
Is it a rather old song? It sounded rather dated.
It's like a 60s reggae beat song. Yeah.
Okay, is that the best musical choice for this bit?
Well, I mean, they're talking about black culture and stuff, so I mean, to a degree.
Yeah, reggae. So just reggae music. Just throw that on as-
just put some black stuff on. Go on.
Yeah. Just find something to imply, multiculturalism. Just put some random Jamaican kind of music on reggae.
The man that's going to batter me, they've said.
I'm not battering anybody. I just want you to know where I stand.
Okay.
What you did was against the law. And
Wow.
you're lucky not to be before the courts. It is racial abuse. I would suggest the punishment is that you go to Manchester United every week for about 10 weeks and clean Rio Ferdinand's boots as penance for that mighty abuse that you heaped on us.
Oh, by the way, sorry, that's West Brom's anthem. It's called The Liquidator. It's a old reggae tune. Yeah. So that's, I suppose it's relevant because they are technically a West Brom game. So.
Okay, then it makes sense. Okay, I just lack the context. Got it.
That's fine. I didn't know that either because I don't go there. So.
I think you're well out of order then. I have to.
So the racist is annoyed that he's asked him to clean a black man's boots. Shocking.
Yes, imagine that.
Yeah.
What did his players withstand in terms of abuse every day on the field? And he gets a little bit of pushback.
Yeah.
And he can't handle it.
Yeah. Okay. Indeed, yeah.
What's the out of order in this room is you.
No,
you started it. What will send a lot of us apoplectic with rage is if you're brought back in a position of authority, where people have to listen to you and your opinions with respect.
Whatever happened then in this world about forgiveness and stuff like that?
All I've got.
You missed that, didn't you? His response is quite nice.
Forgiveness and stuff like that. Whatever happened?
I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Christian.
Yeah.
Don't put your Christianity on me when you want to get out of responsibility.
Exactly. Also, technically it's not reggae, it's ska. Apologies. Should we get into new wave and two-tone as well? You fucking pedants. Anyway.
That's our chat.
Indeed. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Forgiveness works on the basis that you accept that you fucked up, not, it was a joke. I was joking about the guy's mum being a monkey.
Or when someone expresses an opinion about your penance saying it's out of order. Just the thought experiment is out of order.
Yeah.
You're not ready for forgiveness yet.
Yeah, indeed.
All I've got to tell you is that we have labored seriously in this country to eliminate what your language is so that we could walk around this place with respect. And you have come and attempted, probably unwittingly, it doesn't matter, to send us back 50 years.
No way.
And
No
the
way.
Guardian,
Sorry,
you see,
no way.
I'm telling you how we see it.
Now let me say something to you now.
No, white man. You listen. No.
Does he look like the listening type?
Shut up, white man. Zip it. This is your time to listen, not to excuse yourself or ask for forgiveness. You're here to listen and say, I'm sorry, and say, I will try to do better. Those are your only lines. Stick to them, or don't say anything.
people, I've got to tell you, has been terrific.
You should be ashamed to say that black people have responded nicely to you after you've abused them.
But perhaps they've appreciated the fact that basically my actions have been a lot better than my word, if you like. My one word, an aberration.
No. You know what strikes me over you sitting down here talking to you? You don't care a monkey's.
What have I got to do? I've got to walk around on hands and knees all my life. I've been, all right, I've apologized. I've over-apologized now.
Is that so? You have destroyed your own career. Don't blame anybody else.
Have I blamed anybody else?
Yeah.
You will not
Well,
see
you seem to think we don't.
Yeah, exactly. You're saying, what have I got to do? Go crawl around on my hands and knees. So you're saying other people have stopped you.
Yeah, you're expecting forgiveness. You're not asking for
Yeah,
it.
no, you stopped yourself. You killed your own career. And like I say, he was earning millions. He was like the top dude, really. He was earning millions every year, being jetted around the world, commentating on football.
Yeah.
And he pissed it up the wall by being a racist prick. And like you say, how many times didn't he get caught?
Yep.
Because hot mics are rare. They're usually pretty slick on, the broadcasts.
Yeah,
So-
but white people in booths together is pretty common.
True. Although that is getting slightly better. You get a few more black voices, but
Yeah, and hopefully more white pushback, because that's how it's really going to stop.
I would hope so.
Yeah, representation is key, but so is accountability by white people.
Indeed.
No. What I've said is I have never, ever blamed anybody else. I made a mistake. I made a bad mistake, of which I've apologized profusely for. But now, I've got to get on with my life.
Let's say
No, there's no reflection. There's no self-reflection. And that means he's not really apologized. What he's done is that I did something wrong and I want people to stop yelling at me, so I'm going to say these words. But if all he's done is say, I've now over-apologized, and he wants to move on.
Yeah. Well, as Tony says in the chat, I demand you forgive me, damn it. I've over-apologised.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course. That's exactly what it is, yeah.
White privilege.
Yeah.
Let's say I accept that you are genuinely contrite. What is sad about it is you live in a country and don't recognize it anymore. You don't know the place you're living in anymore. You don't.
Anyway, so yeah, I thought Darkest Hour did very well. Anyway, so yeah, that's the story of, that was a part of my growing up. That happened in 2004, the year after I left high school. So that's the kind of, the situation I grew up in, and that's, again, a bit of music. You know?
What was your reaction to it when it was happening at the time? Can you take us through that, since it's a bit of living history for you?
Yeah, well, I was genuinely shocked by it, because like I say, I'd only, as a fan of history and of sport, of course, I was aware that he'd been involved in the pioneering of black players. So I thought, well, he probably held some pretty dodgy views, because people of that generation did. But I never thought he'd be like, and there was a venom to the thing. It wasn't just that he said the words, although that would be bad enough in of itself. There was a spite, there was a hate to the way he said it. Thick, lazy N-word. And I felt revulsion. Genuine revulsion. Like, I wasn't even particularly woke or anything at the time, because I was, 16, 17, whatever. Yeah, but it was fucking mad. There's a statue of all three of them now in West Brom. Oh, that's good. Good.
And then what was your reaction when he was fired?
Oh, it was inevitable. Like, no, I don't think anyone, when you first heard it, no one was like, oh, well, maybe he'll be back. No, that's it, you're done. And I don't think, I'm not sure what he's even up to now, because he's never been back.
No, he hasn't.
No, he's done.
I saw him on a panel show.
No, he's done. And that's fair enough. Like, the prediction I made, nearly 20 years ago, fuck me, he would never be back, and he never has been back, because you're done. Like, from the point of view of even, like, you couldn't have him back for a number of reasons. Firstly, morally, of course. But secondly, if he did come back, you could never trust anything he said about a black player again. Because you'd be thinking, is he actually criticising him because he played badly, or is he racist? And then conversely, is he not criticising him because he doesn't want to seem like he's racist? Which then just destroys the point of him being there. You couldn't trust a word he says. And fuck him. Racists need to be taught, yeah, you can be racist, you are allowed to say the word. He wasn't locked up for it or anything like that. But there are consequences.
Yeah,
Free
go home.
speech. Free speech does not come without consequences. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyway, so that was the story of Ron Atkinson. Not a high-profile worldwide story, but certainly a national story here in Britain.
Yeah, and also one that kind of shaped your perceptions at when you were socializing politically.
A formative age, yes. My mind was being melded by such events. So yeah. Where we at? Oh yeah, no, we've got the thing. Hang on, I'll scroll down to where
Right, our interloper.
Yes, we've been contacted by
An alien species.
By an alien species. I don't even know what they are really. They're a thing. They're just a thing.
So are you getting it up on the screen? Is that what's happening right now?
I'm going to get it up, Kristi. Yes.
Yeah, you're going to get it up for us?
I am. Yes, so we talked earlier in the show about Juche Gang.
So are you getting it up on the screen?
I am.
Whoa. Shut up, Kristi.
Yes. Shut up. Fuck me. Anyway.
Now it's an infinite loop.
Yeah. So we talked about Juche Gang. Is that on the... That is not anywhere near on the screen. Right. We talked about Juche Gang. And we've been blessed with the great man's presence. I'm going to guess he's a man. Anyway, they... they've contacted me.
Yes. Contact is one way of describing it.
Yeah. And I'll just read it for you. You libtards, piece of shit, are disappearing everywhere. Cry like a useless sack of piss, dickhead, wasteman Americans. Are you dumbest people on the planet? Fuck yourself. Caleb annihilated you. What? And Luna should cut your small balls. What? I've never talked to him. You useless prick off to gulag dipshit. Freeze in Siberia. Your shithead will turn to pulp. Fuck punch your face. Is this just the same thing? Is this a copy paste?
Is this sort of a bot?
Is this a copy pasta? I don't know. Dipshit gamers are...
It's a little bit different.
The most R words on earth. Fuck off, prick turd. That's a copy...
No, prick turd. It is a copy pasta.
Yeah.
All right, then the copy pasta goes on.
Useless sack of piss.
What is that? It's your monkey army. Monkey army makes an appearance.
Yeah. You lib shit loser. I'm going to piss on your grave when you'll die of diabetes. Thank you, doctor. You fat fuck.
One word.
Thanks. That's
like prick turd.
Like prick turd. Prick turd and fat fuck. He's a fan of the compound. Is what he is. So yeah, thanks for getting in touch.
Why is prick turd so funny?
I don't know. That's one of the great questions for the ages, isn't it, Kristi? Yeah.
I think it's all the consonants.
Probably. It's all the consonants.
Well, try saying it out loud.
Prick turd.
You see? It's kind of like a little roller coaster for your mouth.
Okay. You're just weird. Thank you, Bilderberg, with 20 bits says violent sexual imagery. Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was. Thank you. So, bookmarks.
Bookmarks?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, can I take a break? Can we be out? Can I go?
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right, you can do your shilling. 1875.
Yes.
And I will be right back.
Cool beans. So yeah, you can go and subscribe to me on the YouTubes. I'm Kevin Logan on the YouTubes. You can go and follow me on Twitch. You can subscribe to me on Twitch, which will cost you $5 at Tier 1. I don't know what it is for Tier 2 and 3. I don't even know what they do, but that's a thing. Unless you've got an Amazon Prime, in which case you get a free subscription every month if you hook your Prime account to your Twitch, you get a free subscription every month. And you can give me $5 of Jeff Bezos' money, and we can impoverish that motherfucker in no time. Yes, there's streamlabs.com/KFLogan1875. It's linked below for your super chats. If you want to do that, help keep the show going. What else is there? Bits. You can give bits. Bits are a thing. There's Patreon as well, link below if you want to give a recurring monthly donation to keep the show on the road. Because, I mean, looking this good does not come free. Look at my beautiful thing. I'm now just checking my Twitter. Oh, okay. Well, I'll go and. Yeah, sorry everyone. I'm sorting a thing out. That is satire, so that can be removed. Right. Apologies, everyone. I was getting fresh information. Fresh information from what's this bollocks? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So you can do all of those things if you want to. There's the tip jar. It's in the Twitch chat if you want to, and it's also in the YouTube chat. Oh, people are legends. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, we'll get on with bookmarks in a second when Kristi's back. She didn't. You are lovely, Kevin. Thank you. I am lovely. That's true. Anyway. So yeah, we'll start off with a thing about Sidney Powell. Yeah.
I'm almost there. That's what she said.
Heyo.
I haven't put on my headphones yet, but I can hear you from the side of my bed. That sounded weird.
Kristi's just being weird tonight.
I am. I'm in a mood.
You are. You are a mood. Absolutely.
Tonight I am.
So, yes. Bookmarks.
Bookmarks.
I have changed over, haven't I? I have. Sidney Powell.
Oh, no. Now what?
You know she's being sued by Dominion.
Yeah, for like $1 billion.
For $1 squillion, yes. She's now trying to pull the Tucker Carlson defence and
Which
say
is?
that no reasonable person would conclude that those were true as statements of fact.
Girl, did you see your face in the video? You were totally serious. Everyone in the room was serious. Everyone took you seriously. We have you on tape.
I saw Rudy Giuliani's face, and that wasn't serious.
No, not when he was leaking.
Yeah. So, you know, that's happening. Just a bit of fun. I'm not sure what this T-shirt is supposed to be about, but Toad Piss Connoisseur, Strong Island Enthusiasts.
That is a very niche sector of the population.
Don't know what's happening there.
I don't know why you'd buy that T-shirt.
I don't know either.
I don't think I want to know.
But this
if
is
I'm
dope.
honest. Wow,
Someone,
it is.
Yeah, was filming a volcano in Iceland. The Fagardisfjall. I know what you call it, a drone camera.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible, and he flies like through the molten explosion, and somehow doesn't like crash or some shit. Look, what? How? What?
Are you sure that's not CGI?
No, this is legit. This is a guy. I checked out his YouTube channel as well. He takes his drone to volcanoes and like films.
Honestly, you could put these videos up in an art place as an installation. What are they called?
An art place.
Gallery.
A gallery.
A gallery.
Yeah.
Yes, and just run it on a loop, and I would stand there mesmerized.
Are you American? An art place. You know where they keep the art stuff.
I had to move to places that had an art gallery. Like it was aspirational for me.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Fair enough. Look at that. That's dope. That's liquid ground.
Yes.
That's liquid rock. Oh. Anyway.
Yeah, intense.
Caitlin Bennett, not so impressive. I love my WAP. White American privilege. So they're just, at least she admits that white privilege is a thing. Then okay, cool.
Is this from that account Conservative Self owns?
Nope.
Because it should be.
It should be. It should be. She should really just go back to shitting herself in public, I think.
What is she going to do when she can't pose with her boobs hanging out anymore? Or maybe she'll just keep doing it into her 60s.
Maybe. I don't know. But she's sold herself short, definitely. Anyway. Yeah, the criminal.
Yeah.
Outrageous behaviour. Yeah, that's just a cute cat. I don't even know why I saved that. It's just a cute cat.
Because it's adorable.
Look at his little arms.
Yes. All curled up.
Yeah. Oh, this is fun.
What?
This with the sound on. Hang on. bounces. Okay, it bounces.
Okay, Kevin, where's the horse that I heard?
Clippity clop, clippity clop.
It sounded like a horse.
Yeah, legend. Oh, emotional roller coaster. A teenager was fined for reporting a stalker to police 5 times before he later murdered her. The British police are absolutely fucking useless. In fact, they're worse than useless. They're a danger to the British people.
I would just my instinct as an American would be to sue the department into submission.
Yeah. Indeed. I just... the police are shit. More of that in a second, anyway. What's this? Oh, yeah, more corruption. Bear that in mind for a story later as well. Firm awarded £16.2 million across multiple COVID contracts, has extensive links to the Conservative Party. Softcat plc not only boasts a Tory donating director, but a life peer and mega donor Lord Nash holds shares in the company.
Because, of course.
More corruption there.
By the way, I'm just going to pause you there. So people in the chat, you can't see this because this is off your screen. But Kevin and I saw each other 2 days ago, right? Today's Wednesday?
Yeah.
And we caught up to your bookmarks?
Yeah.
That day.
Yeah.
And in the less than 48 hours, Kevin's page is so far down, scrolled so far down as to where his bookmarks are that we're not even halfway there yet.
Kristi, good things come to those who wait.
You bookmark too many things.
No, Kristi, too many things happen. Okay?
That's the problem.
And cats are awesome. So.
And that is also true.
I mean, I don't need to tell people that. That's not news, but it is worth looking at. Anyway, what's this? The transformation in the far right. I was going to look at that, but yeah, basically the far right are garbage.
Yeah.
Fucking Peter Coffin. Jesus. Anyway,
what?
So, no, if your advocacy for veganism is based in morality, you're doing lib shit.
What?
So, apparently morals are lib shit now?
Entire branch of philosophy is
well
lib
done.
shit.
Well done, Pete.
Before there was liberalism, it was lib shit.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Well done.
I'm broken. I can't. What? If you do things based on morality, you're doing.
Lib shit, Kristi. Lib shit.
Can you make that make sense?
Kristi, asking for an explanation is lib shit. Okay?
True.
Anyway.
True.
So, yeah, that's... Peter's gone so far off the deep end. Oh, my God.
What?
Anyway.
I know.
Someone reminded me of this, I think, probably Tim Pool's finest hour. Feminist furious as Sonic's success proves gamers right. That doesn't make any fucking sense. But it's a great thumbnail. Thanks. Thanks, Pim. Anyway, Americans need to stop. Just need to stop.
Are those Oreo cookies?
That's bacon, cheeseburger, Oreo cookies, more bacon,
Mouse.
more cheese.
No, that's a mouse.
A mouse? Where?
In the cheese. You see the 2 dots that are eyes?
Oh, a mouse face. Yeah, okay, I'm with you. So it's a mouse face. Mouse face and cheese, more burger, more Oreo cookie.
God.
Oh, God, America.
What are you doing? Just stop it. We need an intervention.
It's like you want God to rain fire upon you. This is like Sodom and Gomorrah, but with food.
This might have been what tipped off Sodom and Gomorrah. This is more offensive than sodomy.
God was like, all right, the gay sex is hot. Actually, that's nice, but this fucking food stuff has got to stop.
And then all the foodies lived, so then they had to find someone to blame it on.
Exactly. Talking of gay sex, Milo Yiannopoulos.
Or not gay sex.
Well, that's what he reckons. He's now no longer gay, and if this will load, which it doesn't appear like it wants to, this is how he's now dressing.
Oh.
Hang on. Is it going to load? Oh, why are you being a boombaclart?
It's just spinning.
Yeah, it's just
weird.
Okay.
It's not been deleted.
No,
It doesn't
it's
say
still
it's
there.
been removed. But you can kind of get an impression from the.
Yeah, but I want the picture.
I know you want the picture, Gavin. It's okay. We all want the picture.